310864. Station's your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
Man, it feels great to be a Duck.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Their competitors, they'll want to put the O on.
Three, got it!
We're going to compete to a standard every day.
The Oregon standard.
Rebound. Up and in. 1 point more to go.
The opportunity to play, put Oregon on your chest, should mean a great deal to you.
Unloads on one into left field. Back toward the wall. Gone!
This program is staged to compete and to win championships.
Oregon wins!
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, let's talk Oregon athletics.
It is a prestigious day in the Oregon Athletic Department. At least that's what I like to call it. Ryan Milano filling in for Joey Mack on Duck Insider today. It really is. It's prestigious. It's the word that I think really encapsulates what's going on around this athletic department best right now. Men's and women's golf just finished up their season in the postseason. Softball just finished off their season in the postseason in the Super Regionals in Oklahoma. We'll have a full season recap for Oregon softball breaking down throughout the show with you today. Oregon baseball, they're on their way. They left this morning to Nashville. They will be playing in the Vanderbilt Regional. That coming up this weekend. We will preview that on the show for you today and tomorrow. And a whole bunch of awards. The O Show was last night. The O Show, of course, representing all of the student athletes and teams here at the university. Black tie event that gets them all together and honors the accomplishments for all of them across the year. And the Oregon 2023 Hall of Fame class is in. If there's any word that I think encapsulates everything that is going down as the academic year comes to a close, it's prestigious. It's recognition for what is going down in the University of Oregon as things continue to move forward towards the end of the academic year, and we continue to get moving towards next year. And we have some big next year news that just dropped this morning as well. Oregon football, we have times. We know when the Ducks are going to kick off for Oregon football. 4 games announced. Not a lot of the Pac-12 games yet. You'll get those a bit closer to the week of, those with the networks. There's a lot of shuffling around there, but we have 4 that are confirmed for you. September 2nd, season opener at Autzen Stadium versus Portland State. That a noon kickoff. Is there any better way than a high noon kickoff to start off the season? That game going to be on Pac-12 Network. Make a day out of it. Get out to Autzen Stadium early. Maybe have a few alcoholic beverages for the broadcasters. We're on the air. We can't do that. But you guys can. Get rowdy at Autzen Stadium. Fill it up. It's before the students come back for classes. Make sure Autzen Stadium is filled for the opener against Portland State at noon, September 2nd. That game on Pac-12 Network. Then the first road game of the season against Texas Tech. This is a better Texas Tech team than it's been in years past. In a lot of early top 25s, our old friend Tyler Shuck helming the offense over there. That game going to be at 4 p.m. on Fox in Lubbock. 4 p.m. kick for the first Power 5 game of Oregon season. And then the final non-conference game of the year at Autzen Stadium, September 16th versus Hawaii, 5 p.m. on Pac-12 Network. None of those late kicks in the early non-conference. I think we got away with a few of them. No Pac-12 after dark non-conference games. And what a beautiful time for the regular season finale against Oregon State. Rivalry series game. November 24th, 5:30 p.m., that game on Fox, nationally televised. Those are the 4 games that we have confirmed kickoff times for at this point. Those dropped this morning. You can get your tickets on goducks.com/FBTix. Phil Autzen Stadium. I know that we had H.J. Cohen on the show yesterday. For some of the Pac-12 games, Colorado, USC, they're not even selling individual game tickets. You have to get those packages. You have to get in the door early, so make your plans to be in Autzen Stadium now because those seats are going to fill up in a hurry. It is a hot commodity in Eugene. But that's next year. We're preparing for next year. We're looking down the road for next year, but there's also this season, and there were a lot of 2022, 2023 athletes. They were honored last night at the O Show, a great event that's put on by the athletic department. A whole bunch of other teams were there and recognized. The Oregon football team was there. The Oregon women's basketball team was there. Black tie event. A few great awards across the athletic department. And I was traveling with softball this year and actually had the opportunity to talk with the softball team on our Cal trip. And they were planning, this was about a month ago, they were planning their outfits, they were planning the day, they were planning what they were going to do. They were excited for this trip, or for this opportunity on the Cal trip about over a month ago. That's what this event means to the student athletes. Caitlin Howard of Oregon Softball won the Pride Award. Bryce Betcher got an award. Dan Lanning was there, our Oregon Sports Network intern extraordinaire own Olivia Cleary. She was there doing interviews. It was a great event across the board for the O Show, recognizing these student athletes. A great time. I think everyone that was there, I've only heard good reviews for what happened at the O Show last night. I wasn't able to make it myself. Unfortunately, I have a little bit of FOMO about it. Can't do anything about it. Dang it. I didn't make it, Scott. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. That's what they say. The class of 2023 Hall of Fame class for Oregon Athletic Department. It is in. 6 Ducks being honored and having their name etched in Oregon lore forever. Elena Bergema of Oregon Volleyball, English Gardner of Oregon Track and Field, Jordan Asai of Oregon Track and Field, LaMichael James of Oregon Football, Jessica Moore, Oregon Softball, and Bruce Mortensen, Oregon Track and Field. Those are the 6 that are honored. First, it's Elena Bergema. She was the 2012 National Player of the Year for Oregon Volleyball, a 2-time All-American. She led Oregon Volleyball to the Final Four and the national title in 2012, was the first ever Pac-12 Player of the Year in program history. She played her freshman year at LMU in the WCC. She then transferred to Oregon in 2010 and put together 3 tremendous seasons for the Ducks. And each year, Oregon got further than the year prior with her as part of the program. Missed the tournament her first season, made the first round in season 2, and then made it all the way to the national title where the Ducks eventually lost to Texas in the year 3 for her. She not only did it on the court, she did it off the court as well. Won Miss Oregon USA in 2011 and was honored with the Miss USA Pageant Most Photogenic Award. And she won that Miss Oregon USA Award the same week her team made it to the NCAA tournament in 2011. So she was really doing it on and off the court at the same time. Top 10 in Oregon volleyball history in kills, points, and hitting percentage. Congratulations, Elena Bergema, for being recognized in the Oregon Hall of Fame. Oregon Track and Field, English Gardner, one of the fastest to ever do it at the University of Oregon. A 5-time NCAA champion in 4 different events. She won the 100-meter twice as a national champion, the 4x4 outdoor, the 600-meter indoor, and the 4x4 indoor. She was named Pac-10 Newcomer of the Year at the time back in her freshman year. She is a 6-time Pac-12 champion, twice in the 100-meter, twice in the 200-meter, once in the 4x100, once in the 4x400, a 9-time All-American in 3 years. 3 years, 9-time All-American. If you're keeping track at home, that's 3 All-Americans per year. Not bad. She set 5 school records in the 100-meter, the 200-meter, the 60-meter indoor, the 4x400-meter, and the 4x400-meter indoor. Unfortunately, none of those records hold because of great Oregon athletics that will probably be recognized in a Hall of Fame class of their own. Kemba Nelson in 2022 broke the 100-meter record, and 2021, she broke the 60-meter indoor record. And then in 2017, a great sprinter year for the University of Oregon. The 200-meter, 4x400 outdoor and indoor records were all 3 broken. But a 5-time record holder at one point in her Oregon career, and one of 8 Oregon Ducks to have an Olympic gold medal in track and field. She won gold in the 4x100 in Rio in 2016. She was also a silver medalist back in the 2021, 2020, whatever you want to call it, the Tokyo Olympics for the 4x100 meter. And she won 2 World Championship silver medals in the 4x100 in 2013 and 2015. And just missed out by fractions of a second on an individual medal in the 100 meter in 2013. She finished 4th. Keeping with Oregon track and field, it's Jordan Hasay. She was an 18-time All-American, not just track and field, but also cross-country. And when you have those cross-country track and field crossovers, they're just some of the craziest athletes that there is on campus, and I don't think there's anyone really better than Jordan Hasay. 18-time All-American, won 2 national titles, the mile indoor, the 3,000-meter outdoor, and was an NCAA cross-country runner-up. Let me get this right because it's a long acronym. The USTFCCCA. We were doing this before the show. The U.S. Track and Field Cross Country Coaches Association Indoor Track Athlete of the Year winner, Jordan Hasay. She was a Bowerman Award semifinalist. She was the 3-time Pac-12 Athlete of the Year for cross country, a 3-time NCAA West champion in cross country, 4-time Pac-12 champion, once for cross country, once for the 5K in track, and 2 times for the 1,500 meter in track. The Pac-10 newcomer of the year in cross country. The only reason she didn't win it for track, we just talked about her. English Gardner took it from her. It helps when 2 all-time athletes for track and field are in the same Hall of Fame class. She also broke 4 school records, one of them still standing. She still holds the 10K Oregon school record. She held the 3K indoor record that was broken in 2019 by Jessica Hull. She broke the 5K indoor record that was broken in 2019 by Carmela Baez, and then she had the DMR record in 2017 that was smashed by an elite 2017 track and field team. But for about 5 years held 4 records and still has one standing for Jordan Hasay. That is LaMichael James. It's LaMichael James, the Oregon football legend LaMichael James, and you knew he was going to be honored in this year's class because he was honored a few months ago back in the College Football Hall of Fame class in the class of 2023. They're a 2-time All-American, the first ever first-team All-American by unanimous decision for the University of Oregon football team, a Doak Walker Award winner, and he was also the member of the 2010 Oregon football team that made it to the national title game. And whenever we have an opportunity to play the great play and the great call of the Oregon Sports Network's very own Jerry Allen, making a statement by LaMichael James.
Here's 3rd down and 3. And LaMichael up the middle, busted, and he's gone! LaMichael James, baby, not gonna catch that man. 10-5. Statement. LaMichael James.
Congratulations, LaMichael James, part of this class, part of 6 athletes. Jessica Moore for Oregon softball, an elite pitcher for the Ducks on the diamond. One of the best pitchers in Oregon history, and I've been around this Oregon softball team this year, and there's a few names that come up a lot when you're talking about Oregon softball. This is one of them. Jessica Moore. She led the Ducks to the Women's College World Series through her career in the early 2010s, has multiple program records. She's number 1 in appearances, number 1 in innings pitched, number 2 in strikeouts, number 2 in wins, one of 2 Ducks with over 100 wins all-time in program history. Top 5 in complete games, number 6 in shutouts all time. Across the board, you can't write the Oregon record book without Jessica Moore, one of the best in Oregon history, a 2-time All-American and a 2-time no-hitter thrower in the green and yellow as a Duck. Congratulations to Jessica Moore, part of this Hall of Fame class. And the final member of the Hall of Fame class, Bruce Mortensen, Oregon track and field 1964 NCAA steeplechase champion. Bruce Mortensen, a 2-time All-American, a member of the 1964 and 1965 Oregon Men's Track and Field National Championship teams, and a member of 2 Oregon cross-country runner-up squads in the 60s. Bruce Mortensen rounds out the Hall of Fame class of 2023 for the Ducks. Congratulations to those 6 Ducks who were named to the Hall of Fame class of 2023. That announced yesterday. Full rundowns on them on GoDucks.com. Make sure to check them out if you want even more about the prestigious, that's the theme of the show, the prestigious class of 2023 for the Oregon Hall of Fame class. Still a ton to run down in today's show, so do not go anywhere. Oregon softball complete season recap coming up later in the show. A little bit more about Oregon baseball as well, so make sure to keep it here. We're going to take a break on the Oregon Sports Network, but we're still here in the Country Financial Studios. Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. You're listening to Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can go out and make memories that make summer, summer. Like catching a road game in a RAV4. I got it!
Toyota, let's go places. Participating dealers only. Event ends May 31st. Dealer inventory may vary.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can go out and make memories that make summer, summer. Like catching a road game in a RAV4. I got it!
Toyota, let's go places. Participating dealers only. Event ends May 31st. Dealer inventory may vary.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider here in the Country Financial Studios. Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Oregon softball, we didn't have a chance to touch on them on the show yesterday because it was a lot of baseball. The announcement that Duck baseball going to the Nashville Regional to play Xavier in round one, the Vanderbilt Regional. So the first game for that region will be on Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Joey Mack will be on the call, that game on ESPN+. But because of all the news with Oregon baseball yesterday, we didn't have a chance to touch on softball on yesterday's show. And I was there. I was the voice of the team. It's almost a little bit fitting that we didn't have time because I want to break down the season that was for Oregon softball and the tremendous season that was for Oregon softball. It ended in Oklahoma in the Stillwater Regional. I caught a little bit too much of the Oklahoma sun. Haven't seen it in a while. It's okay. But I do want to break down the games that happened. Thursday and Friday were the games for the Ducks. Oregon got an early start. They were one of two games that played on Thursday, so a quick turnaround. Fayetteville to Eugene to Oklahoma. The Ducks were only in Eugene for a little over 24 hours, about 36 hours before the turnaround. So it's postseason softball. It was a tight travel day for Oregon softball, but they were up and at them. They got them early. And against Oklahoma State, it's a team that came in. You knew the pitching staff that Oklahoma State had. That's been their calling card all season long. That's why they have been so successful. You knew if Oregon was going to win, they were going to have to keep it low scoring. And initially in game one, that's how it looked in the regional. Oregon got an early base runner. Kylu Shar started off the game with a leadoff single. Was stranded on second base, got to second after stealing a bag with no one out, was stranded on second in that first inning. And then in the second inning, Oregon was able to scratch across a run. It was KK Humphreys who got on with an infield single. Alyssa Daniel was able to drive her home with a seeing-eye single through the right side. Ducks up 1-0. You're feeling good, especially the way that Morgan Scott was spinning it in the circle. First 3 innings of that game from Morgan Scott were some of the best innings that Morgan Scott threw the whole season. She was cruising through the first 3, but then came the 4th inning, and then Oklahoma State found a little bit of offense. There were runners on the corners, a 3-2 pitch with 2 outs, a chance to get out of the inning. Close pitch, ball 4, ended up extending the inning. Oklahoma State ended up scoring 3 in the frame. They're up 3-1. Next inning, Oklahoma State scores 4. They're up 7-1. End up winning the game 8-1 after putting up 1 more in the 6th inning. It was a game that I feel like was a little bit closer than the 8-1 final score suggests. There were a few plays throughout this super regional, really just 2 or 3 that were 50-50 plays that I felt broke against the Ducks and then really extended innings. I felt like these teams were very, very competitive for a lot of the game. It was just a big inning here, a big inning there for Oklahoma State. It was really the way that Oregon did their damage for a majority of the season that was the kryptonite for the Ducks in the super regional. Lexi Kilfoyle pitched a great game for Oklahoma State. Didn't allow a base runner after that Alyssa Daniel seeing-eye single that put Oregon on the board first. Then on Friday, Oregon looking to find more of the offense, and it just didn't happen. Kelly Maxwell for Oklahoma State. She was really good in the circle for the Cowgirls. And Stevie Hansen, I thought pitched probably her best game in about a month. Stevie Hansen was pitching really, really well. I just don't think the 9-0 score does it justice. Hansen gave up 1 in the first, a bit of a tough luck play, gave up a 2-out double that ended up scoring a run, and then pitched really, really, really well all the way up until she eventually got drove out of the ballgame. Late in the game, runners on second and third, 1 out, the biggest jam of the ballgame for Stevie Hansen. This is the play that Duck fans are probably going to be talking about. Ground ball to shortstop, Paige Shinicki goes home, Ducks get the out, but obstruction called against Tara McGowan. Across all of collegiate softball, the obstruction rule has been a big topic of conversation. It's decided a lot of games. Oregon didn't put up any runs in the game. It didn't decide this one. Oklahoma State probably would have been the victor anyways. But it is still a big play in the ball game. I have opinions on the obstruction rule. We'll save them for Duck Outsider. It's a different broadcast, but the obstruction rule extends an inning, makes it a 6-run inning for Oklahoma State, and from that point, Oregon was just looking to break up what was a potential perfect game for Kelly Maxwell, and it was fitting. Allie Bunker, the 5th-year senior, in her final at-bat of her career late in the game, got jammed up, but was able to fight a single up the middle, and it was just a really great moment to break up what could have been a no-hitter, could have been a perfect game. Allie Bunker standing on first base, and she broke down in tears, and it was in the booth emotional for me watching her at first base. Tara McGowan gets on in her final at-bat with the fielder's choice, and Ariel Carlson with the double down the line. McGowan gets held up at third, and that's where the game ends. Second and third, Ducks not able to score a run. Oregon's season ends in the Super, and if you look at the last 2 games of the season, and yeah, it wasn't the result that the Ducks were looking for in Stillwater, but it was still a great season that was for Oregon softball. let's break down the season for you because it really was a tremendous season for the Ducks. It started in Mexico in the Puerto Vallarta Challenge. The Ducks didn't really get what they wanted to open the season. Lost game 1. Stevie Hansen didn't pitch great. It was a 7-3 loss against Maryland early in the year. It was a weird game for the Ducks to start out the season. Ducks dropped that game. They also dropped a game against Oklahoma State. So the season starts and season ends with losses to Oklahoma State. But I think the middle was tremendous for Oregon. Just a really strong season across the board, and we'll get there. But Oregon still had some great wins against Wisconsin, against North Dakota State, against Ole Miss. That was a tournament team in that weekend in Mexico. They start off the season 3-2. Then they go to San Diego playing the Campbell Cartier Classic. First game, you knew it was different for Stevie Hansen. This was really the run of Stevie Hansen when it started. Against Utah Valley in Game 1 of the Campbell Cartier Classic. No-hitter for Stevie Hansen. It was a run-rule 9-0 victory. Valerie Wong walked it off with a home run to end it in the 6th. The Ducks also beat an eventual team that would make it to a super regional in San Diego State. It was the host team of it, so essentially a road game for Oregon in the Campbell Cartier Classic. And the Ducks ended up winning that game 6-4, and it felt like a Pac-12 game. It felt like a game that was competitive from start to finish, but Oregon ultimately was in control, took the game and took the lead late, and were able to win that game against the Aztecs of San Diego State. And here's where the season, I think, hit its high point in the Mary Nutter Classic. Oregon went 4-1. They lost the first game to Cal State Fullerton, but it was a gauntlet. After that first game against Cal State Fullerton, you look at the schedule, it was a top 25 team in Northwestern, a number 3 team in the country in Florida, a top 25 team in Missouri, and then UC San Diego is a pretty good team in their own right in their own conference. Win, 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 win. Top 25 victory for the Ducks over Northwestern, a 2-1 victory. Stevie Hansen was great in the ballgame. An 8-0 win against Florida. Stevie Hansen was even better, a complete game shutout against the number 3 team in the country. Allie Bunker hit 2 home runs in that game for Oregon to take down the Gators. And then against Missouri, Reagan Breedlove was flawless to start. Pitched an amazing first 5 innings for the Ducks. Oregon allowed a few runs late, but were still in control. Took a 6-4 victory against the Tigers of Missouri. And then in the final game of the weekend, you think you just got 3 wins. Maybe it's a bit of a trap game for the Ducks. And UC San Diego played competitive, but when Oregon needed big-time hits, they got it from Carissa Ornelas. That was really the theme all year. Bring a bat off the bench, it's Carissa Ornelas. She will drive in a clutch run. She did late in that ball game, made it a 2-1 victory for the Ducks. Oregon went 4-1 over that weekend. Then they go into the last weekend of non-conference play in the Judy Garment Classic on the campus of Cal State Fullerton. Ducks did their job. They went 4-1 over the weekend. The only loss was to an All-American in Autumn Pease, who pitched one of her best games of the season. It was a 4-1 loss for the Ducks. But Oregon took care of business going into Pac-12 play as they finished non-conference at 16-4. They go into Pac-12 play, and the gauntlet of Pac-12 play to start was not kind to the Ducks. The scheduling, Washington, Stanford, UCLA. For my money, those are certainly 3 of the best 5 teams in conference, include Oregon and Utah up in there as well. Those are far and away the best 5 teams in the Pac-12 this season. 3 of them are in the Women's College World Series right now. UCLA was the number 2 seed overall, and the Ducks made it to a super regional. So difficult teams across the board to start for Oregon softball, and they start off Pac-12 play with a bang. 8-6 win against Washington in Game 1, and it wasn't easy. The Ducks had to come back late in the ballgame. Clutch hitting by KK Humphreys. Big flies by Valerie Wong over the weekend. Those were the themes of the Washington series. Ducks took Game 1 in comeback fashion. Dropped Game 2. They lost a late lead in Game 2. It was all offense in Washington. A 13-8 win for the Huskies in Game 2 of that game. And then in Game 3, really the theme of the early conference play for the Ducks is it couldn't have been closer. Every single game felt like it was decided by one play. The Ducks were down 2 in the 7th, had bases loaded with 2 outs, weren't able to tie the ball game, weren't able to take the lead. That's how the Ducks dropped the series to Washington. They ended up getting the win against Seattle to close out the road trip. Went back home, started play at the Jane on the season. It felt like a long time, felt like a millennium till Oregon got to play the Jane. They did play the Jane against Stanford. Lost game 1. Stevie Hansen versus Atlanta Vaught are two of the best pitchers in the Pac-12. It was tied at 1 after 7. Extra softball. Morgan Scott came in relief. Ducks ended up dropping it in extras. Couldn't have been closer. In game 2, Morgan Scott got the start, played tremendous. 7 innings, no earned runs, gave up 1 unearned run, but still Stanford had a runner in scoring position in a 2-1 ball game with 2 outs in the 7th. The Cardinal player at the plate ripped a line drive, looked like it was destined for the left center gap. Paige Sinicki, I don't know where she got the vertical, but she did. You had to use all of her frame, leaped up, sealed the game. She later mentioned in the season that those are the moments that she plays for. Those are the moments that I broadcast for. Tremendous game for Oregon to take the middle game against Stanford. And then in game 3, it couldn't have been closer. The Ducks and the Cardinal down to the wire. It was just as close. The Ducks were up 2-0 late. Then Stanford scratched across 3 late runs in the ballgame and ended up taking the game 3-2. The Ducks would, of course, play the Cardinal again because why not? And spoiler alert, that game couldn't have been closer. The Ducks just played such competitive softball through the first 3 weeks of conference play, and against UCLA, it was the same. Morgan Scott picked up right where she left off through a complete game shutout against the Bruins. A 3-0 win in Game 1. Oregon got to Brooke Yanez early in Game 2, but then Megan Faremo came in and shut down the game for the Bruins. A 7-4 win for UCLA. A grand slam was the difference. One play, one swing of the bat. The difference. In Game 3, it was the same. Tied at 2 into the 7th. UCLA put up 4 in the 7th inning. It was down to the wire once again. Oregon came out of that weekend 3-6 in conference play. Could have easily been 9-0, 8-1, 7-2. Any results could have happened because of how tightly contested every single game was through the first 3 weeks of conference play. Then it lightened up a little bit on the Ducks. To start April, Oregon got a touch of a bit of a favorable schedule and got a lot of momentum. Took the series against Oregon State 2-1, dropped the last game, and then here comes the win streak. They got their non-conference week in their bye week. They played Montana, played Lindenwood, 3 wins in a row for the Ducks. Then Oregon goes on the road to Arizona State. In Game 1, they're down early. They're down 1-0 late in the ballgame. Kai Lushar makes a great play, one of the best plays of the season, crashing into the fence in foul territory. She got reinserted into the lineup into April and made a big difference for this Duck offense. And the Duck offense came alive late in Game 1 against Arizona State. Took a 5-2 win in Game 1 there. Took a 5-2 win in Game 2 against the Sun Devils. And then there was no offense for Arizona State in Game 3, where Oregon won 4-0. Make it 6 in a row for the Ducks. Oregon travels back home to Eugene. They're still playing an Arizona school. Offense early. 8-0 win. Ducks run rule Game 1 against Arizona. Offense played the same way in Game 2. Ducks score 8, get the win in Game 2. Game 3, white knuckle time. Arizona gets a 4-0 lead. Ducks claw their way back. Ariel Carlson, 3-run home run, puts Oregon within 1. It was really the start of the late surge to the season for Ariel Carlson. And then, Chris Ornelas, bases loaded, 1 out, bases clearing double to give Oregon a 3-run lead. The Ducks end up winning 7-4. Comeback. Oregon's mantra all season, they never felt like they were out of it. They didn't. In that game, it got them the win. Oregon goes on the road to California. They play Cal first non-conference game against Pacific. Oregon wins it. Combined no-hitter between Reagan Breedlove and Allison Benning. Then Oregon will play against the Golden Bears of Cal. Ducks dominant in Game 1, wasn't that close. In Game 2, Oregon jumps out to a 5-0 lead early. Cal makes it close late. Ducks still hold on to win 5-3. And then how about another Game 3 comeback? Oregon down against Cal 3-0 early in game number 3, and then Oregon a 6-run inning. Gives Oregon the lead, gives Oregon the 8-5 win. Make it 13 in a row for Oregon. The longest winning streak that late in the season since 2017. That was the last time they made the Women's College World Series, the last time they made a super regional until, oh wait, we'll get there. Then Oregon finished off the season, the regular season against Utah. Didn't go the way the Ducks hoped. Utah's a really good team. Utah's in the Women's College World Series. They're still playing this weekend. They've only lost one game since the Oregon series. That was just a team that was peaking at the right time. Two really good teams, a few really good games during that series. Utah ended up winning all of them. Oregon then goes to the Pac-12 tournament. They're faced with Stanford. Of course, the Cardinals are back. Can't get rid of them. Another close game. Alyssa Daniels' home run puts Oregon up 2-0 early. Then Stanford comes back in the 6th. They tie it at 2 in the 6th inning. In the 7th, Oregon takes the lead back 3-2. But it didn't hold. Stanford, they had late offense in the 7th, a weird bunt play, and ended up going into the dugout. It walked it off. It was a little bit of the inverse of what happened with Oregon baseball against Stanford in the Pac-12 baseball regional, or the Pac-12 baseball tournament. Then Oregon goes to the regional. Oregon takes game 1 against Notre Dame. Big defensive play by Hannah Delgado. Big home run by Taya Bird. Game 2 against Arkansas, Taya Bird, again, big-time home run. Oregon gets to the regional final. And the Ducks, they were trailing early. It didn't matter. Oregon, they got it done late. A 9-run, 5th inning walk-off grand slam. Ariel Carlson sent the Ducks to the Super Regionals.
Carlson, line drive, left field. See you in the Supers. Grand slam, Ariel Carlson, second home run of the inning. And it's high fives for version 5.
The highlight of Oregon softball season takes them to the Supers. Great job by Knight Uretsky on the call for KWVA. Oregon's season eventually did end in the Supers. Ducks finished the season 38-17 on the year, make the Super Regionals for the first time under Melissa Lombardi. Program trending in the right direction. The Ducks season did end in Stillwater. Melissa Lombardi, she talked with the media after that game. We will get to that on the other side of this break. You're listening to Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, OnPoint proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. OnPoint Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Chris Jakimick, I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider here in the Country Financial Studios. Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Just broke down the season that was for Oregon softball. Enough hearing from me. Let's hear from Melissa Lombardi. All coach interviews brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck with exceptional cancer care close to home. Let's hear from Coach.
I don't even know where to begin. I just would say that I can't say enough about this group and how special they are. They worked hard all year long to go further than we've ever gone before. I think of our first year with these two, and we didn't even know if we were going to have enough people to play a season. But we found people. We found people on campus and found a way to play. And every year, these guys drove our team to be better and better and to go further and further and to be standing at a super regional, not getting exactly what we wanted today, but knowing that we left everything and there's nothing left to give. And I'm thankful for these two and for our other seniors because they found this program. They're leaving this program better than they found it. And I'm so thankful for them. I'm thankful for everything that they've done for us. So super proud of this team. We fought. We gave it everything. Congratulations to Oklahoma State. They're excellent at what they do in all areas. And, I know playing them it's a part of what's going to make us better, but they're just excellent, and I just want to congratulate them.
How do you balance kind of the big picture appreciation for what you guys accomplished with no doubt some frustrations probably with how the last couple of days went?
I think just remembering, like Coach Lombardi just said, like the first year, like we didn't even know if we were going to have a season because of how many, like we barely had any players to field a team. And just to see the transformation year over year with this team has been super rewarding, and to be able to get to a super regional this year has been incredible. We started the year saying our goal for the year was to get farther than we've ever gone before, and I know we're all confident that we have made it farther than we've made it before, so I'm super satisfied with that feeling.
Tara, no doubt you guys wanted to flush yesterday. Do you think there was any carryover from kind of the last few innings yesterday and made it tough to get going today?
I don't think so. I think our team is really good at flushing, and we came in, with fight and energy, and it just didn't go our way today, but I'm really proud of what this group did.
Allie and then Tara, if y'all could both speak to what Kelly Maxwell was doing well today that gave y'all trouble.
Mm-hmm. She just moves the ball really well. She can hit all corners of the strike zone, which is really tough as a hitter. You just don't know what's coming at you. So, yeah, she's a really tough opponent, and she definitely made us better as a team, and we'll learn from her.
Yeah, I would go for what Allie's saying. She hits all corners of the plate. She's super effective. She gets ahead, and she's just an all-around great pitcher. We really respect her on the mound, and I think her journey and her story is awesome, and proud, to be a Duck and be able to face her and see where her career keeps going.
Tara, your thoughts on the obstruction rule and anything that you could have done differently on that particular play?
I don't really have any thoughts. I didn't make the rules, so.
And Missy, to have this weekend where obviously the two who are sitting there with you were the last remaining ones from the 2019 team, but to have three other members from that team who were in attendance, to look back on it in these 5 years, just what did that group and the two who are there with you mean to you as a coach, not just to the program, but to you personally, to these first 5 years?
Gosh, I mean, I could go on forever what these guys mean to me. I'm just so thankful. You think about softball is what brought us together, but what I'm more proud of is that the opportunity to do life with these two. That's what it's about. It's doing life and then getting to play softball to go along with it. It's doing life with Haley and Jordan and Shay, and that's the part. That's why I coach. It's because I get to do life with them on and off the field, and we get to struggle together, and we get to have joy together, and we get to do a lot of really, really cool things. And they have left their mark. There's nothing left for them to give, and I know this next chapter they're going to be unbelievable in what they do, and I'm just proud of them. I love them. They have me for life, and I am thankful, blessed, and I look at the first year and everything we went through, and I would go through it all over again to be with these two right here, all over. It was worth every minute of it, no question.
a question for the players. What was it like to play for Coach Lombardi?
It's been amazing. I wouldn't ask for a better coach in my 5 years. Sorry, Tara, I want to take over, then I'll come back.
Oh, God, okay. Yeah, I just think we really lucked out. I think we all found our way to each other for a reason. She does nothing but uplift women. She empowers women. She's someone that I'm so happy to have in my corner for the rest of my life, and I wouldn't have had it any other way.
Right, just the relationship she has with us and our teammates is just incredible, and she cares about us so much on and off the field, and that's so important. And yeah, I couldn't be more grateful for her.
Coach, obviously, those are some powerful words there. I take it you've learned some things from this group of players that you'll take with you as a coach moving forward.
For sure. I've learned, I feel like they've learned something from me, but goodness, the life lessons that I've learned from them. We came into this as freshmen together and trying to figure out how to do all this. And, they're on my left and my right, but these two are in my pocket. We were laughing earlier about having them on speed dial. I think one of the biggest things that I learned from these two is to really listen to what they have to say. Sometimes as a coach, you're supposed to know everything and keep everything together. And just follow what I'm doing. But what I learned from my time with these two is that it's not all about me taking the lead. It's about me listening to the people that are around me, and the respect that I have for these two, and listening to them. Because by doing that, if I wouldn't have done that, we wouldn't be sitting here today. We wouldn't have gone further than we've ever gone. It's trusting and listening that these two know what they're doing as leaders of our team. And that's the biggest thing that I've learned from all this.
Melissa Lombardi, Allie Bunker, Tara McGowan. An emotional end to the season, but a great season that was for Oregon softball. Oregon baseball still going. We'll hear from Tanner Smith when we come back. You're listening to Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can go out and make memories that make summer, summer. Like catching a road game in a RAV4. I got it.
Toyota, let's go places. Participating dealers only. Event ends May 31st. Dealer inventory may vary.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, OnPoint proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. OnPoint Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can go out and make memories that make summer, summer. Like catching a road game in a RAV4. I got it.
Toyota, let's go places. Participating dealers only. Event ends May 31st. Dealer inventory may vary.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
It's time for today's STEM tip. Okay, you know recycling is important. No one wants plastic in the ocean. Here's a cool way to repurpose a plastic bottle. Build an awesome terrarium. Cut a large plastic bottle in half and fill the base with sand, pebbles, potting soil, and your favorite plant. I chose an African violet. Put the top of the bottle over your base and place it in the sun. Your plant will grow sealed in its own ecosystem. Fun, right? Learn more at She Can STEM. A message from the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union here in the Country Financial Studios. I'm Ryan Milano, filling in for Joey Mack, who left for Nashville this morning. I think he's touched down. Has he touched down? I think he's touched down in Nashville. First game for Duck Baseball, that will be on Friday at 10 a.m. against Xavier on ESPN+, or listen to Joey Mack on the Oregon Sports Network. After the selection show on Monday, both Tanner Smith, Josh Malaris talked with the media. We'll hear from Tanner Smith first. Here he is.
Under different circumstances, that could have been a little stressful. You guys were announced pretty late in the field. What was it like to watch that, knowing that eventually your name was going to pop up?
Yeah, no, I'm sure for some of those bubble teams, that feeling's probably pretty crazy. But for us, we just knew it was a matter of time, and we were just excited to see our name called.
And then, so when you did see it, when you where you're going, who you're playing, just what were all the reactions like?
I think everyone's really fired up. I've heard so many great things about Nashville, family in Nashville, and just the path to Omaha looks good for us, and we're really happy about it.
I guess just your initial reaction from the field. You guys could play Xavier again, and then Vanderbilt, obviously this huge brand for college baseball, and just going there.
Yeah, I think, this is really just an opportunity for us to kind of really show what that Pac-12 championship means to us. I think everybody in our regional won their conference titles. So, I think it's going to be a really good matchup, and I think it's going to be a really exciting weekend.
Can the success you guys just had, do you need to just flush that and forget about it? Can it fuel you in some way? How do you balance it?
Yeah, I think it's a big momentum piece. I think just kind of accomplishing that together as a team is, not only something to be excited about, but something we can learn from, and just kind of, keep that fire burning.
Obviously, you've been in the postseason before. I guess just what's your mindset this time around?
I think it really is to just kind of enjoy every single second of it. Really just kind of eliminate the stress and the what ifs and all the many different things that come in with the postseason baseball. But I think this time around it's really just trying to focus on that team baseball mentality and really trying to focus on what this team can do collectively as a group and do that.
Last year you guys had lost both Arizona games, and you were trying to rebound in the regional. This time it's really the polar opposite.
Whole different story. Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think last year, being out in two, it kind of gave us really just a whole week off and a whole kind of week to reassess. But I think being on this side of the equation, I think it's really well for us, for this team who had some series canceled and some games that weren't played. I think it was really good to play as many as we could and kind of keep the momentum rolling.
What was Waz's message after the show?
Just kind of that same mentality we've really adapted with the last 2 weeks, is just that back against the wall mentality and really focusing on playing for one another and enjoying every moment with each other.
I asked this to Waz as well, but now it's 24 or 36 hours from winning the Pac-12 title. Just what are your emotions, especially after the game? You were quite emotional. Just what's it been like reflecting on it?
I honestly don't even think I still have come down yet. It's been such an awesome experience. I've never had such a better travel trip home, and the last 48 hours, just seeing everything online and kind of hearing everybody's story to what that came about to. It's been just indescribable.
Speaking against the back against the wall and playing for each other, how about Jacob Walsh hitting that home run? He's been struggling quite a bit lately, and is that part of the momentum you're talking about?
Yeah, big time. That's something honestly we've talked about all year is we need everybody to win. It doesn't matter who it is, and it doesn't matter how hot or how cold you are. It's with this team and this offense specifically, it's any name that can do it and win a game for us.
Ducks can win it any which way, Tanner Smith says at the end of his interview, and he's not the only one. We'll hear from some thoughts by the closer, Josh Malaris. Those are coming up on the other side. You're listening to Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, OnPoint proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. OnPoint Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it, unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Back here on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union in the Country Financial Studios. Ryan Milano filling in for Joey Mack. We're right up against it, so let's get to the closer. Josh Milleras, hear a few thoughts from him after Oregon's postseason draw in Nashville.
Well, what all went through your head when you saw Oregon up there?
I'm excited to be there. First time for me in 5 years personally. I know it's continuing the tradition of making the postseason that we want to build here. So, overall, very excited. It should be a lot of fun.
Big picture, you feel like it kind of validates why you wanted to join these guys to try to take a step like this for yourself personally?
Yeah, 100%. That was one of the reasons I came here, was to get a shot to do this. And, that's, step one checked off so far.
Yeah, there are other steps, too. What do you think is the best way to balance enjoying what you guys just accomplished this past week? Do you need to completely flush that as you turn ahead to this week? Can that fuel you in some way? What do you think is the best strategy there?
Yeah, I think, it's a combination of both things. So, obviously you don't want to forget, what got you that success. So just remembering, how we played, what we did right, what we did wrong, and, taking those lessons, into this upcoming weekend.
A few thoughts from the closer. Didn't get to all of them today. My fault. Got carried away with softball. I'll be better next time. Don't worry. Tomorrow on Duck Insider, full baseball preview with Joey Mack on the show. If you want to check out the full interview with Josh Milleras, it's on the Go Ducks YouTube. So you can still get it all. My bad. But we will be back tomorrow. Graham Abel on the show. Joey Mack on the show. Full show tomorrow. Have a good one. Go Ducks.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.